stocking, you will need a pair of scissors, some ribbon, some needles, thread, white fabric, colored fabric, and a piece of paper. So the first step you're going to have to do is you're going to draw out your template on a piece of paper, or you can just print it out. I just drew mine out. Then you're going to want to get your scissors and you're going to want to cut it out. So here's how mine looked. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have some space at the top because it's going to be folded down. So then now you get your fabric. Make sure you cross it over so that there's two papers. Fabric. So I just cut out my template on a piece of paper. You can print one out. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a longer top because it's going to be folded down. So here I have two of my fabrics. I folded it in half so that when we cut it, we only have to cut it once. So you get your pins, and then you're going to want to pin your template onto your fabric. You pin it so when you're cutting it, it won't move around and you won't mess up. And make sure you're getting both pieces of fabric when you're pinning it on. So now that you have everything pinned down, you're going to take your scissors and carefully cut around your template. You want to leave some extra so when we sew it, we're going to turn it inside out and it'll be very neat. Make sure you're cutting through both fabrics. now that you have your shape, you can just cut it so that you actually get the shape. So when we take this off, you're going to know exactly where you should cut. So now that we have our shape for our stocking, you're going to want to get a needle, any needle, and some thread. I'm going to be using the Dual Duty, the very strong thread, in the color white. You can use any color. You can even use the color of your fabric. Then you're going to pull all the way till you get all to both ends. Then you're just going to wrap it around your finger and then tie a knot. After that, you can cut off some of the excess. So what you can do is you can leave this on, or you can just leave it off. So now is the time, or if you want to do any decorations, you can do them now. So I wasn't going to do any decorations. I was going to leave it like this. Then I'm going to use some fabric paint and then paint on the names on it. But if you decide, you can also, sew on a name. You can sew on your name. You can sew on anything. You could even use some transfers, anything you want. So what you're going to want to do is here, don't start from the top because it's going to be folded down, but start about like a good 1.5 inches from the top and start there. You can even use a sewing machine for this. I just decided to do it, hand, because I don't have a sewing machine. So you're going to want to do any stitch. So the stitch I'm going to do, that's the basic up and down like this. It's also called a running stitch. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you have, a good amount on the outside. So make sure that there's at least this much on the outside. So up and down. Make sure it's tight, but not too tight. And if you don't know how to sew, there are many sewing tutorials on YouTube. Just search up how to sew for beginners, and they'll teach you basic stitches. You can even do complex stitches if you want. I just decided to do this one. So I'll see you after I finish sewing. Bye. Turn it off. You might get a problem like this when you run out of thread. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a knot. Just any knot. It's the way I do it. I just do up and down a few times, and then I go through the loop. Then I just pull. Then you're going to want to cut off the extra, and then get new thread, tie it again, and then do the same thing, repeating all the way back to the top. So I finished sewing it. Looks like this. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open it up and then turn it inside out. So here's how your stocking looks. So at the top, you're gonna fold it down and fold it up like this. So I'll show you. Fold it down, and since we don't want this edge, this really bad edge, I'm gonna fold it up. And you get more of your needle and thread, and you're going to sew it on. So what I have done is I have cut out 2 strips of some white fleece, and we're going to sew it to the top. So what the first step you're going to want to do, you're going to want to get 2 of your pins and pin it on. And always leave extra just in case you mess up. I'm just using 2 pins. Then get some more thread. I have simple white thread that I've tied a knot to the end. Then, like I said earlier, you start from the inside. So I'm going to start right here so that the knots don't show. Just do your basic running stitch. Around this area might be a little tough because there are many layers of our felt. And just go around your pin. Just continue until you finish both sides. Just tie a knot at the end. See you then. Bye. So I've finished the top trim of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our ribbon on it. So you're going to put it here on the side, the smooth side. Not the one that has the actual sock part, but like smooth side. So you just make a loop like this. And you just sew it on. And you sew it on inside so you don't get the look. So you sew it on here. So for the words we're going to use some fabric glue. You can also use colored ones. So I'm just going to make my own since I don't have any colored ones that I like the color of. So I have some regular Fabric Fusion, a cup, and then some red paint. I'm going to make mine pink because it is for my girl dog, and I think it matches quite well with the fabric I used. You don't need much, just enough to write the words and any decorations you want. So I have this much, a good amount. And get some of your paint. I'm just using some basic acrylic paint. You get your stick, gotta get a little bit on it, and then mix. And just mix until it's all well combined. Turn it off. So I got this nice color, like a nice pink. I ended up adding some white so it doesn't look as translucent. So you're just going to get your stick and then just write the name of your dog. This is completely optional, but I just decided it would look nice. And go one coat of this and another coat a little bit darker. and take your time with it. I would suggest to sketch it out first using a pencil. And then the reason why you should put a towel down is because this is fabric glue, so if you do get it on a carpet or something, it will not come off because it's not supposed to. This probably the most time-consuming part. You can also use a paintbrush, but I'm just going to be using a small toothpick for this step. I'm gonna write her name Sparkle. So I'll show you guys after I'm finished doing this. Okay, bye. So I finished it. This is how it looks. I just wrote her name Sparky because Sparkle is too long. That's what we call her. So it looks like this. And throughout the winter season, before Christmas, you can make DIYs for your pets to wish them a Merry Christmas.